Welcome to another edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up. During this program, we will highlight the agenda items presented to the Lakeville City Council at their December 19th, 2016 meeting. First highlighted item on the agenda is item number 7, resolution approving Heritage Commons 5th edition preliminary and final plat. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is Planning Director Daryl Morey.
I'm honored to be presenting at the last meeting that you're presiding over as mayor and the last meeting that Councilmember Swecker will be at, as well as the last meeting for 2016. I will be relatively brief with my presentation. As you heard from Mr. McCool, he described the applications that the developer is requesting approval of this evening. Just for locational purposes, Heritage Commons, if you're not aware, is located north of County Road 50, east of Dodd Boulevard, adjacent to Heritage Drive. The proposed development includes, as you heard, a preliminary plat of 6 commercial lots. And that looks like this, my fancy highlighter for your last meeting. 6 lots.
Only the best.
5, exactly. 5 of which front or have frontage on County Road 50, 1 adjacent to Heritage Drive. The private drive connection that Mr. McCool spoke about, labeled here as Idyllic Avenue, it's actually just going to be a private drive. It's basically extension of the private drive from the existing developed portion of Heritage Commons and gives the development another access out to County Road 50, and then as you can see, there's certainly some lots with frontage and visibility to County Road 50 as well. The final plat, as Mr. McCool mentioned, just includes outlots, 3 outlots, 1 for the private drive, private road, and then 2 outlots for the future commercial lots. Now, the PUD amendment is related to the comprehensive signage for the Heritage Commons development. It's an amendment to modify basically the development identification signage that's out there today. This is the one page of the proposed sign amendment modifications. It shows the lots that are part of the preliminary plat, and it shows the locations of the various signs. Now, each of the individual commercial lots will have a small monument type freestanding sign identifying the business on each of those lots. The main component of this, however, which is requiring the modification or the PUD amendment, is the freestanding development related signs. The proposal is to remove 3 of the existing signs that are out there right now and replace it with 3 others. The 3 signs, just quickly: the clock tower sign that's right on the corner of 50 and Dodd, this freestanding sign that is located east of Dodd, closer to Iberia Avenue. And then there's this temporary, more like a quasi-4 sign, if you will, that's right in the northeast quadrant of Dodd and Heritage. The proposal is for 2 larger, and by larger I mean 20-foot tall, 200 square foot area development identification signs, 1 the northeast quadrant of Dodd and Heritage, 1 adjacent to County Road 50 and the new private drive that will be extended to the south, and then a slightly smaller 15-foot tall, 80 square foot sign roughly in the area where the clock tower sign is today. Those signs would exceed what the typical C3 district ordinance standards would allow. Thus, the amendment for the PUD that's being proposed by the property owner and developer in conjunction with this preliminary and final plat. The Planning Commission actually considered these applications at 2 separate meetings. The preliminary and final plat public hearing was at their October 6th meeting and was unanimously recommended for approval. There was no public comment at that time. And then the PUD amendment for the signage was considered at their December 8th meeting. Again, no public comment, and unanimous recommendation of approval again at that time. There was a stipulation that was added by the Planning Commission on the PUD amendment for the signage that was related to discussion that was raised by Planning Commission concerning the potential cumulative effect of having the potential for electronic changeable copy signs on each of the individual freestanding signs. As you can see, with the 5 lots fronting on 50 in a relatively short distance, there was concern with the rate of change if you had all 5 of those having changeable copy. So the Planning Commission talked about that. They talked about limiting the rate of change. They talked about limiting the number of signs. Mr. McCool was present at that meeting and was part of those discussions. The concern with limiting the number of those signs is they talked about 2, for example. If you had a situation where the first 2 that platted and business that developed wanted those, then the rest of them were out of luck, so kind of a first come, first serve in a way. Whereas if the rate of change was extended to 30 seconds, which was the recommendation of the Planning Commission, current ordinance allows 7. That would allow each business potentially the opportunity to have electronic changeable copy sign just at a lower rate of change. And that stipulation was added by the Planning Commission, again on a unanimous vote. The Parks, Rec, and Natural Resources Committee reviewed the plat at their October 5th meeting and recommended approval. So staff is recommending approval of the resolution approving the preliminary and final plat and the ordinance amending the Heritage Commons PUD as presented, and I can stand for questions.
Item number 7 was approved by the Lakeville City Council. Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 8, City Administrator's Performance Evaluation Summary. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is City Council member Bart Davis.
The City Administrator Performance Evaluation was completed by the Mayor and City Council. Also, Mr. Miller's direct reports were asked to complete a modified performance evaluation form. This modified 360 approach will provide the Mayor and City Council with multiple viewpoints for Mr. Miller's review and will provide a more balanced picture of his performance. Many factors were reviewed, including Mr. Miller's understanding of city operations, his leadership, his presence in the community, and his communications with the council, the public, and the employees. Mr. Miller is well respected by City Council and staff. We find Mr. Miller's performance continues to be consistently at or above the council's expectations. Per the City Administrator's, per the City Administrator's employment agreement, the City Council will review compensation on an annual basis. The City Administrator position has a classified pay grade 42 of the city's position classification and pay plan. In accordance with the pay plan, the Personnel Committee is recommending Mr. Miller's 2017 annual salary be set at $154,924.
Item number 8 was approved by the Lakeville City Council. Well, those were the highlighted items presented to the Council at the December 19th, 2016 meeting. If you have any questions or comments regarding these agenda items, please feel free to call City Hall. The number is 952-985-4400. Thanks for watching this edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up.